Hello, McFluffy52 here, back with some more Phyrexia All Will Be One action, and today we're playing a Beasts deck because we're trying to build around Tawnos the Toymaker. This is a 5 mana legendary creature, human artificer, 3/5, 1 blue, 1 green. Whenever you cast a beast or a bird creature spell, you may copy it, except that copy is an artifact in addition to its other types. So today, we're playing a lot of beast creatures and hoping to double up on them. So important to note though, Phyrexia All Will Be One introduced actually quite a few good beasts into standard. We have the Armored Scrapgorger, which is just a mana dork that exiles things from the graveyard. Not too bad to double up on. It's an 0/3, it's a pretty good blocker. We also have a Bloated Contaminator. This is a 4/4 trampling toxic one. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, proliferate. Another good beast to double up on. Contagious Vorrac is a Phyrexian boar beast. Enter the battlefield, you may look at the top 4 cards of your library and you may reveal a land from among them and put it into your hand if you didn't proliferate. So this is another decent body to double up on. Helps us find our land so that we can actually play this 5 cost legendary that will help us double up on our beasts. Evolved Spinoderm is another beast from Phyrexia All Will Be One. Has this battlefield with 4 oil counters on it, and it has trample as long as it has 2 or few oil counters. Otherwise, it has hexproof. At the beginning of our upkeep, we remove an oil counter, and then if it has no oil counters, we sacrifice it. Oh, what the heck's happening? But yeah, Evolved Spinoderm, nice. It comes in with hexproof. It's really good at preventing opponents from moving it, and then it gets trample, so we can go ahead and trample over our opponents. I have no idea what the game's doing. We also have some other good beasts here with Ulvenwald Oddity that has Trample Haste, can flip into an 8/8 that gives our creatures Trample, Haste, and +1/+1 if we pay 7 mana into it. We also have Obstinate Baloth. There is some discard going around with Liliana, and if it gets discarded, we instead get it to enter the battlefield for free. Yeah. What is the server doing? The world may never know. Besides that, I guess we'll hop into a more full deck tech. We have Fading Hope here as a cheap removal / bounce. We have some Tawmos Safekeeping for protection. We got 4 Joint Exploration to help us scry 2 and then draw a card and then potentially put a land into the battlefield if we are able to kick it. We also are running around with 2 negates so that we can go ahead and block those Invoke Despairs when they do show up. Oh, that's great. Let's see if we can go ahead and reconnect and hop into some games. That was impressive and annoying, but yeah, we're gonna go see how we do on the rank ladder. I don't know how well it will go, but played a few standard games. Ultimately, Tawnos is really hard to build around because he's 5 mana and he only targets 2 specific creature types, so wish us luck here. We got to negate Evolving Adaptive. Again, there will be a full deck tech at the end of the video, and also if you enjoy MTG Arena videos, consider subscribing because we enjoy trying to make a video every single day. We need 1 more land, but negate on 2 isn't the worst. We also get to go first, which is nice. Those are cool sleeves. Esper, so maybe they'll go in for removal and we can just counter that. We might honestly just want to hold the negate for something more appropriate. We did not top deck a land, so this is looking like it's going to be a rough game. But if they make us discard with a Liliana here shortly, we do have the Obstinate Baloth. There's a card from Brothers War. Ooh, yeah, I'm not a big fan of that card. It's like a 3-for-1. Thank goodness we find ourselves some cards. This goes ahead, grows the Evolving Adaptive. This is a card from Phyrexia All Will Be One. Very nice card to have because it likes to grow, I guess, you know. A good threat on one that can scale. I feel like the music's a little odd. Let me oh, with Shieldred, that's upsetting. Evolve. Contagious Vorrac. that will get us down a Tawnos, and then we can start doubling up our creatures. Meantime, though, we're just gonna have to sit here. Once we get Tawnos down, we can gas a Obstinate Baloth. It will gain us 8 life, create 2 4/4s. What I found that really wins us a lot of games with this deck is Ulvenwald Oddity. Being able to get that 4/4 trampling haste creature down for 4 and then flip it to pump the rest of our board is really nice. Rafine, that is gross. Though this is not really a good attack for them because we're gonna go ahead and get rid of their Shieldred. Seems pretty greedy to me. Sure, we lose both of our creatures, but they lose their most important one, and then we can rebuild rebuild our board pretty well with Tawnos here. Assuming Tawnos sticks around. That was a fair point. Fair point. Our opponent seems to be just playing standard old Esper. That's why you didn't give a crap. Surprising to see Geeks' command in such a multicolor deck because, well, you have so many options in white for like removal and stuff, but I guess you have like 1 or 2 of them for the recursion and everything. Yeah, if a spell or ability would an opponent controls causes you to discard this. Okay. You have all the answers, don't you? You have a way to block their Shieldred, though hopefully they don't have like Undying Malice or something. Yeah, this deck is probably a bit jank. Well, probably is maybe a bit of an understatement, but try to balance everything out and see how you go. No Shieldred attacks because they're cowards and they don't have their recursion. I thought they already did their discarding. What's holding them up? Like a Shieldred's Edict? We're gonna go ahead and scry 2, draw a card. This is gonna cause us to lose some life, but honestly, it is what it is. Don't really need lands at this particular moment. Alright, that's kind of worse than a land. Let's go see if they're willing to trade their Shieldred. Shieldred has done like 8 damage to us, I feel like, over the course of like 3 turns. Card's ridiculous. Hard opponent, you have instants in your hand. Are you gonna interact? Counterspell. Alright, we're back up to this much, and then we have these 2 creatures so we can block Shieldred if Shieldred goes in. Not ideal. I was really hoping they would just trade with the Evolved Spinoderm, but I mean, we're never really going to actually be able to kill them with attacks here until we get rid of their Shieldred, because Rafine plus Shieldred means they get to gain 4 life every turn. I mean, they could throw in their Danik and then have another thing that if their creatures die, they get clues. I'm pretty sure that's how this works. Actually, it's whenever any creature dies. they get to put a clue. It doesn't say dies. Technically it says graveyard, but... Fight spell. Void Rend. Yeah, lose life. Let's go in. There's not really much we can do. Didn't find any of our bounce spells. Maybe we'll draw and hope we find a bounce spell, but even if we find a bounce spell, that just means Shieldred's not on the battlefield for their upkeep, not necessarily our turn. Unless we hold it up and bounce it on their turn. That's something. Let's go ahead and just pay some life. Oh, that's that's not very useful. If they attack in with all their flyers, well, yeah, if they attack in with both their flyers, they can kill us just with conniving. And then on top of that, even if they don't kill us, they do 2 damage on our upkeep. Oi, oi. We had double Tawnos, but Tawnos just got removed both the times we played him. See if we can go ahead and get Tawnos down and do some copying. So we're playing a lot of dual lands here just because I want to make sure that we hit these double greens and stuff. What do we want to do here? We play Contagious Vorrac. Find ourselves another land. Dreamroot Cascade. We might not end up playing this joint exploration. Opponent is playing Golgari though, so they might have some removal here. Time will tell. Alright, what do we want to play here? We just play Evolved Spinoderm as a blocker. Yeah. This way we can double block. They might have Undying Malice to flip their Phyrexian Flushgorger. I wouldn't put it past them. Or they just have Shieldred. We're gonna go play Augur of Autumn here, just in case there's a land on top of our library. There is not a land on top of our library. We'll play this tap land. Alright. No decks. Augur of Autumn here is just here to help us play lands from the top of our library as well as cast creature spells. So once we get Tawnos out there, we can try and flood the board. Well, Augur Autumn is also there just to eat removals, I guess. I need to find a really good deck to play where I can just make my opponent's lives miserable. As miserable as they make playing this game sometimes. We'll go play Contagious Vorrac. Altawara. Ooh, it's gonna cost us some life. Well, is what it is. We'll wait until their turn, maybe. I mean, we're gonna lose this Evolved Spinoderm soon. Black, why are you the strongest color right now? You have Undying Malice, don't you? I do like full control here. Oh, they didn't. Wait, what? Oops. In response, we draw our card. Put a land onto the battlefield. Do we want this land? That puts us. That would put us like at 8 lands next turn, which seems pretty good. We'll do that. I don't really know if we want the Bloated Contaminator, but can't hurt. Can't hurt, right? So next turn we flood the board with, yes, draw, damn it. Flood the board with some nice spicy creatures. And then we go no attacks. And then next turn we give everything haste. 1/1 and trample by flipping Ulvenwald Oddity. Becomes an 8/8. This card is pretty good, and they're definitely playing Undying Malice. They just didn't have it in hand. Yeah. This gives us how much trampling damage? 18. I mean, they could just choose not to block it at all and then swing in and kill us. Yeah. Because they're at 29 life. Shieldred. Alright, you go, Evolved Spinoderm. Maybe you don't go in. Maybe you go in. We can't go in with anything. Evolved Spinoderm could just get... Well, then that forces us, if they block and attack him with Shieldred, to block with Ulvenwald Behemoth. Massive Golem. Alright, Contagious Vorrac, you're the least useful here. Oh, thank God. Something actually good here. Yes, give us 2. Alright, how much trampling damage do we have? 8 plus 6 is 14 plus 10. We have 24 plus 4 is 28. Still not lethal. If we attack in with everything, they could choose to not block at all, and we die. Alright, well, we attack in with Evolved Spinoderm and a Bloated Contaminator, maybe. I think. Yeah, I'll do that. They don't block. Take them down to 20. We proliferate. That means our Evolved Spinoderm is not going to be sacking quite as soon. Goes back up to Hexproof, which is nice. Opponent could make her sack our largest creature with a Gix's Command. We're looking at an artifact copy of Bloated Contaminator. Don't look at it. You rascal. You rascal. Blow up our 5/5. Gain 5 life. No, create a Rhino. They don't ever have to attack in because Shieldred's gonna kill us. Why does that card exist? I don't understand. I don't understand. I'm not gonna lie. I fail to understand. Alright. Let's copy. Alright, cool. What do? We concede. Alright, let's see if we can actually win next match. We got to see some copying, which was really cool. We also saw how Tawnos works really well with Ulvenwald Oddity. If you have Ulvenwald Oddity flipped, having more creatures means more attackers that get more +1/+1s, and then they get trample with Ulvenwald Oddity. So like having the Anthem from Ulvenwald Oddity works really well with Tawnos, and Tawnos can also copy in Ulvenwald Oddity if we play it from our hand, and then we can flip the non-token one, which is cool. But we can see how we're not playing anything quite strong enough to deal with our opponents, because Shieldred is basically game. Maybe we need a green like bite down. That's maybe what we should be playing in the deck, because in that case we could have bite down the Shieldred with a with our Ulvenwald Oddity. It has 8 toughness, or sorry, 8 power, and if we use a bite down, it'll do 8 damage. Oh no, that's not good. All right, Contagious Vorrac. No lands. That's bad. That's really bad that we just like double whiffed all over the place. So we have Tawnos next turn, but they probably have some removal locked and loaded. They might go for the Armored Scrapgorger. They're probably gonna Who would have expected Liliana?
This is my home, and I don't appreciate it when people touch my things.
I don't appreciate you, Liliana. You remove my shit, you make me discard shit, and I hate you.
Sorry, I'm not interested in dying today.
It is annoying that we don't necessarily have a good removal for this Sicker Moon Gauntlet. If they play like a Liliana and make us discard ever, we do have a good response to that. And now we have protection to hold up. It was good. Our opponent has... No, they don't have Invoke Despair mana quite yet. They'll now have Invoke Despair mana. Those cool sleeves. It must be from Crimson Vow, I would assume. I would assume. Opponent, do you have anything else to do besides cast like Liliana? March of the Wretched Sorrows. Okay. Or March of Wretched Sorrows. That cancels out their life gain also, because that says deals that much damage and gains that much life. So, kinda nice. Kinda nice. Witness the Future, one of my least favorite cards, because it means that they can just play a super controlling deck and just wait for you to deck out. Alright, we don't have any protection. But hey, they're tapped out. We get this out there, and if we cast like... If we cast whatever, we can go ahead and copy it. We have lethal on board, so they probably will play some removal of some form. Alright, that's not really some removal of some form, but at least it's a draw a card. Up to one target creature can't attack or block until your next turn. So
Let's see this.
I mean, I guess we just go for the win, even though it's the lame way to win. Actually, hold on. Let's cast out the Bloated Contaminator so they don't concede. They might have removal, so who knows. But at least this way we get value out of that, and then we can go ahead and get rid of that. We could have played Obstinate Baloth with the Tawnos. I forgot that we get the discount because we have the legendary creature. This ability costs 1 less to activate for each legendary creature. And then we go ahead and attack in with everything. That's 11 damage. And boom! Victory! We didn't really get to see how Tawnos was relevant, but we got to do the thing. Yeah, I don't think Tawnos is very good in standard. But it definitely seems like it would be like a fun commander card in particular. But even in like other like constructed formats, I feel like he's still too slow. 5 mana for a 3/5 that does nothing on your turn. I don't even know if there's enough like non-legendary beasts that are worth copying. Though I was looking at making a historic brawl deck with Tawnos, and I found Elder Gargaroth, which is like a 5 mana mythic. It's like 6/6. I think it's got vigilance and reach or something, and whenever it attacks, you do 1 of 3 things. You gain like 3 life, you create a 3/3 beast, or you draw a card, I think it is. So that would be like a really good card, example of a card to copy it. If you can do that, you kind of win the game, no? So okay, maybe you don't win the game, because if they have, you probably don't win the game, honestly, though. Shieldred, like anything with Death Touch, blocking those means that they immediately die. You only get 1 tick of value out of them. They need to attack in to grant you any value. Though you could do something funny where you play Tawnos and then you play Craterhoof Behemoth and it gets copied twice. I don't know exactly how good that is, because Craterhoof Behemoth already should probably win you the game if you're going to be able to cast it. Because you just play some mana dorks, you can cast Craterhoof Behemoth. Everything gets like +6/+6 or +7/+7 because it's equal to the number of creatures that you control. Alright, we're getting a fun time where the Q thing won't ever find us anything. I'm going to go ahead and cancel Q and then just start it again. It's probably going to insta-draw if we do find a match. I don't know why the game is acting up, or my Wi-Fi. It might be just the Wi-Fi. But yeah. See if we can find a game and get Tawnos going again. We got to see it that last game. Even our opponent had like, I think Tawnos has like 1 strength in this particular meta is there's a lot of spot removal, and Tawnos doubles up your creatures, so they need like twice as much spot removal. But there are enough sweepers running around where I don't know if it's completely like that much of a strength, especially since if your opponent's able just to like spot removal everything up to your Tawnos, they're probably gonna still be like, you're only going to have a handful of creatures if you get to your Tawnos resolved, and so that's not too hard for them to clean up or have a bigger board presence. Okay, well, if we find another match, we'll see how it goes. What is happening? Internet connected and secured. Okay, I guess it's the client. That could be my only belief, but actually, no, it's probably my internet. My internet sucks here. I don't know why. I don't know why. How would you build Tawnos? I think, presumably, you'd want to play him in Historic or Explorer. I just haven't played a lot of those formats because, well, if I start looking into those formats, then it's like, oh, I need this card, and then I need this card, and then I need this card, and it's like, okay, I have how many rare wild cards to spare after spending all of them on like standard decks? That's why I feel like standard is such an easy format to get into, in the sense that like there's a very clean limit to the cards you need. Actually, that's a bit of a lie. If you're playing like free to play, if you're playing like entirely free to play, there's a big limitation in the number of decks you can try out and build. I mean, heck, I've spent money on the game and I still don't have like a bunch of copies of like I haven't spent wild cards on Invoke or Wedding Announcement, and I think I have like one of each of them, and they're such strong cards. So building around the fact that I don't have them can be a bit of a struggle. What is this queue time? Well, I can click cancel and start it again, I guess. I don't know. This is going to turn out to be a terrible video. I'm sorry. Alright, we're going to third try is the charm. Probably not. The video might just end here. It's a very short 30-minute video. Because, well, if we can't find another match, there's not much I can do, and I don't really want to record over from scratch after we spent like 20 minutes doing this. Yeah. Have any of you guys seen the Lord of the Rings previews, or the Shadows of Innistrad remastered previews? I really look forward to those sets. You might see some Historic and Explorer gameplay when those sets come out. Because I think Shadows of Innistrad is supposed to help with Explorer a bunch, so we might be playing some Explorer there, because I think I'm going to probably buy the pre-order bundle or whatever. And I will probably want to mess around with the Eldrazi. Emrakul's coming. Emrakul. They put a screenshot on Twitter of the game, and they had some like purpley aura around like the edges of the screen, and then in one of the hands there was like Emrakul or something. So I do wonder if they've managed to program, I think it's Emrakul the Promised End is the one that's coming. It's the smaller one, if that clarifies. I don't actually really know the card names, but the one that Mindslavers your opponent, you get to play their turn out after casting it. So that should be really cool. And then there are some like other Eldrazi. There's the Emerge Eldrazi that are going to be appearing, or like a fair amount of the Emerge Eldrazi I think are going to be appearing. The ones where you can sacrifice a creature and pay its Emerge cost, and the creature will like enter the battlefield, and then it will sacrifice at the end of your turn, I think it is, or something. Instead of paying their like full colorless cost. And then there was a few other Eldrazi, I think. I'm most excited about the Eldrazi, if that's not clear. But there are also like other like Shadow of Innistrad cards. There's a Faithless Looting, which is that 1 mana like draw 2 cards, discard 2 cards. They have it in common and the old art, which I'm particularly excited for, because I didn't want to spend rare wild cards to craft Faithless Looting. Because I don't know, they shifted all the way up from common to rare when they did the Strixhaven Archives, which is incredibly frustrating to me, because it's like that's the only version that's on the client at the moment. And Faithless Looting is such a good card for like Historic Reanimator, or I guess Explorer Reanimator as well. So if you're planning to play Reanimator, that's an upside. I did see like Drugskull Captain, which is like other spirits get +1/+1 hexproof or something. So spirits, maybe they're getting some action. And then the Lord of the Rings set, that's going to be only Historic and Historic Brawl, but it should be pretty interesting. I'm looking forward to like the art and everything. My problem with Historic Brawl is just like, oh my goodness, there's so many cards, and it's like, okay, well, if I want to make a deck with this, like make a deck for a particular commander, it's like, okay, well, there's a bunch of cards that I don't have. Do I craft them? But like, if I craft them and I find that they're like terrible in the deck, that feels awful. So that's the conundrum for me for Historic and Historic Brawl. It's just like But speaking of that, I would say that like I've been struggling to come up somewhat with like standard. Well, like sometimes it's hard to come up with new standard videos, so I'm always wondering like, should I just go ahead and like go through some of my old standard decks and some of my historic decks that I have, because I think they're pretty fun, and I have some decks that were in standard that rotated out that we could try playing and explore. All right, we're gonna go ahead and click cancel and try one more time. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. I know that they wouldn't be new cards, and they wouldn't necessarily be like super Explorer meta, but a lot of them I will say, well, it's probably less decks than, probably less decks than I would expect, just because a lot of those decks, I didn't always buy some of the cards in the sets, so I had a lot less cards to build around, so they're a bit more narrow in the decks that I ended up building, using a lot of the same cards, or using some of the same cards. Oh my goodness. Alright, well, this might just be the video. But we can't cancel. Where'd the cancel button go? Alright, Control Alt Delete. See if we can end this task. End task. Black screen. Alright, we're gonna boot it up, play one more game, and see how it goes. I'm assuming it's gonna go back to normal. And you know what? It's not been internet this entire time. It hasn't been internet because the song and the music and whatnot have not been buffering. If it was internet, we'd have been buffering left and right. It's clearly something is up with the servers. Though it kicked us right back into queue, which we can't exit. So that's... I would love to do a deck tech. At least let me let me out. Let me out. This is this is not exactly what I envisioned for making a video today. Maybe I'll try and make another video. I will be trying to stream again today at like 5 p.m. ET. But this video will probably come out after that, so just because it's pretty close to that, and won't have enough time to upload, do the the description, the thumbnail, the deck list, the linking of the deck list, and everything. Finding the art, editing the card arts. Okay, well, can I actually get to the dang... Can I get to the deck list at least, Arena? Let's find out. Third time's the charm of booting up the game. Don't send me back into queue, damn it. Waiting for server. Oh my goodness. Alright, we'll play one game. Though if the queue time goes longer than 30 seconds, I'm canceling and I'm going to just give up. Okay, finally. The queue's behaving normally. What the heck was that? Let me know if you guys have ever had some strange experiences with Arena like that. It's absurd. Alright, this hand's pretty good in terms of the fact we have a 1-drop plus some interaction. Though, yeah, we are playing first, so we do stand a chance here. Our opponent trying to decide whether or not they want to mulligan or not, I guess. We got cool card sleeves. If it's mono red, I'm gonna laugh. Okay, it's not that hard to pick out your land opponent. I'm not gonna lie. Oh, am I finally having internet problems? Nope, that was just a change between songs. I thought I was buffering. I was gonna be like, no way. All this time it was me. I'm sorry, this video turned out awful. Like, actually. What the heck? What the heck? Ay, ay, ay. Opponent playing on a, on their smart bridge, I guess. Actually, just full times out. Very fun. Can I click attack? Well, trying to think of other things I can talk about. I guess on the topic of streaming, I think I'm gonna try and stream Mondays and Fridays, at 5 p.m. Eastern time, so stop by if you're interested, and we might try and brew some new decks. We might just be trying to rank up some. And I can't guarantee how long the streams will last because this game can irritate me quite a bit. And my patience wanes after like an hour and a half of the same bullshit. Okay. Wow. I don't blame people who don't play Arena. We spent the past 20 minutes, is it? Probably not. Okay, probably past the 10 minutes fighting the queue and then fighting our opponent's ability to play the game. This is not how you get out of platinum. Roping will not get you out of platinum. Just play mono red. It's super easy. Go ahead and do it. You kept a one-lander, like, that's also a good way to not get out of platinum. Though I have to say, I was watching, I stumbled upon MTG Arena Original Decks, I think is the name of the YouTube channel, the other day. And I was, they're playing a mono green deck or something. And they're like, shocked that like they lost so many games with it. No, our opponent's just straight up AFK. Great. Okay. Anyways, they were shocked that they lost so many games with it. And they're like, oh, it's just a arena, like they're forcing the opponents to have like amazing hands. And I'm like, well, don't get me wrong, it feels bad to lose with it. But I was thinking it's more so green is really awful. Like, yeah, your opponents had amazing hands, but they had amazing hands because they have the like capability to have amazing hands. They're playing black. They have the Tenacious Underdog, the Cut Down on 1, and then they have like the Liliana and another Cut Down or something on 4, or the Shield Druid, and then they have Invoked. They have an amazing curve. Yeah, of course they're going to have like an amazing curve a lot of the time because they can jam pack with like all these amazing 1-drops, 2-drops, 3-drops, and then they have really good 4-drops and 5-drops as well. But like they're complaining that like it was rigged against them or something, and I was like, no, it's just that your opponents are playing the most meta and most brutal cards imaginable. So of course they're gonna stomp you when you're trying to play out a Mana Dark and actually expect it to live. Alright, this is perhaps a keepable hand. This will be the last game, I swear. Though we're going against mono red on the play, so you know, whatever. Whatever. Like I said, mono red on the play, so. You know, it is what it is. Bolt, lightning strike. Oh, the forge. We don't have any actual artifact removal. Great. Great. Turn 3 forge on mono red on the play. And we're playing a deck with no artifact removal. What do we want to play? Maybe we play this. Don't tap that. I'm gonna pay the 1 life. Hello? Oh, what the heck? I guess my internet is the problem. I don't. I can't play this damn game. What the heck? What is so internet heavy? I've never had this amount of problems with. Yes. Maybe that was our opponent's problem. They just got completely like blown out by internet last game. End turn. Give us our damn creature back. What do we want to play? Evolved Spinoderm seems kind of nice as like a massive blocker, but I'm tempted to play Bloated Contaminator over it because I'm worried about the Spinoderm just dying. Though they could just steal our Bloated Contaminator again with the freaking Bloody Betrayal. Thundering Raiju, great. Great. Yup. You're gonna put the +1 on your Raiju? I guess that way it can't die, but still, it's kind of weird. Fucking hell. I mean, they can just buff up their Raiju again. We really need to draw this card in a way. We'll just play this. Shit. Whatever. Whatever. Raiju just kill us. Whatever. Alright, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? We can bounce the token, which is going to be a 5/1 trampler. And then tank the Raiju. It'd be nice to play this, but at the same time, it's probably not the move. We can play Fading Hope and bounce. The token allows us to scry, but we already know it's at the top of our library. So do we even really care? We could kill the Raiju if we play this out, potentially, though. But we could double block it with the Obstinate Baloth and the other creatures. So yeah, let's see how I do this. The creepy puppeteer is not exactly what we wanted to see. Aw, oh, you're fucking kidding me. Oh, whatever. You have to go. Nobody asked you to be here. Block this. 3 blockers. Whatever. Do we want a Bloated Contaminator? I think we need something better. I don't know why they didn't attack him with their Swift Spear, but... How much mana do we have? We don't have enough to double cast? That's actually so cursed. Gain control of target creature. Another freaking bloody betrayal. Ah, Hammerhead. Congrats, you win. Attacking with everything, attacking with everything. Oh, it's not that hard. Oh my goodness. Opponent, attacking with everything. That was literally all you had to do to win. Whoops, we can't block that. Otherwise, we take 2 trampling damage. They literally had lethal. I can't. I cannot. I mean, we can attack in with 1 Baloth, but if we do, we get trampled over, and if they draw a spell with that they can trigger Monastery Swiss View, we die. Ah, Forge turn 3 is so fun. Ah. Alright, well, that's the video, that's the game. Oi, 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 oi. Alright, let's go through the deck list. I'll try and make this brief. Fading Hope, we have 2 of them to balance our opponent's creatures. Just want some cheap interaction because, well, we're playing blue-green, so we can't play a bunch of kill spells because we're not playing black or white, the 2 strongest colors. Evolving Adaptive, that's a nice 1-drop. It will grow, especially since we can get some like double copies with Tawnos. If we double copy like an Evolved Spinoderm, that can take Evolving Adaptive from like a 3/3 all the way up to the 5/5 power and toughness, which is cool. Tawnos Safekeeping, we're playing 2 of them because we really want Tawnos to stick around, because, well, he only really does stuff he sticks around, which is kind of hard. Like really hard to have happen, but we try. Joint Exploration, maybe we shouldn't be playing 4 of this, but the idea is it will help us draw cards when we're running out of things, and they can also help us put lands onto the battlefield if we kick it. So 3 mana, we can look at the top 2 cards of our library, draw a card, and then put a land from our hand onto the battlefield, which is nice. Running 2 negates because, well, if we can counter like an Invoke Despair, or if we get to counter like that Anvil, that would have been really nice to have a negate to counter. But yeah, negate, not bad in this format. There's plenty of strong spells that are non-creature running around to make it worth it. Armored Scrapgorger, we're playing 4 of these because we kind of need mana to cast all of these things. And they're kind of expensive. Our curve here is 2.7, so it's not the highest, but it's still not the cheapest. Playing 3 Bloated Contaminators because Trample is really nice, and they're 4/4s, so pretty decent body. 3 Contagious Vorracs, again, because we need lands to play out our expensive things, particularly Tawnos. And if we want to start double spelling once we get Tawnos out there, it's pretty nice. Playing 2 Augur of Autumns, again, helps us hit lands from the top of our library, but most importantly, we can start playing creatures from the top of our library if we have 3 different creatures. Well, we have creatures with 3 different powers. So we have a Scrapgorger, a Contagious Vorrac, a Bloated Contaminator, or sorry, if we just have a Scrapgorger, a Contagious Vorrac, and an Augur of Autumn, just like 3 creatures from our deck, then we can probably go ahead and cast out spells from the top of our library, which makes playing a bunch of spells with Tawnos out there a little bit easier. So that's why we're trying to play Augur of Autumn. Evolved Spinoderm, we're playing 3 of these. I like it because it is hexproof. It means it's a little harder to remove when so much removal is flying around. Also, it's a 5/5, so it's a really good body for blocking, even if we're not going to be attacking in with it immediately. And then it gets trampled, so that's another nice thing. It is kind of annoying that it sacrifices, but we do have some ways to proliferate with Contagious Vorrac if we miss a land, or if we choose no lands. We can proliferate that way. This can also proliferate whenever we hit an opponent. Obstinate Baloth, we saw how it was helping us to gain life there against our opponents to keep us in the game. Also, if we get if we have it in our hand and our opponent makes us if the opponent makes us discard, this will put it onto the battlefield, which is nice. Because then we get a free 4/4 with it gains us 4 life. So yeah. Ulvenwald Oddity, this is another amazing card in this deck. Trample 4/4 with haste for 4 mana. This creature is playable in like mono green Stompy. It's all play in mono green Stompy a while back, and then it can transform into an 8/8 with trample and haste, and other creatures you control get +1/+1 and trample and haste, which is huge and very helpful. Tawnos, then the curve topper of this deck. If we can get it out there for 5 mana, we get to copy any of our bird or beast spells. We don't have any birds in this deck because, well, most of the birds are pretty low power and toughness, and so I didn't really think they were worth copying here. There's only one really good bird that I would say that is in standard, and that would be Ledger Shredder, which is if opponent casts their 2nd spell in a turn, you can go ahead and connive, which means you draw a card and discard a card. If you discard a non-land card, give it a +1/+1 counter. So that's a potential honorable mention for birds for this deck. But yeah, we're not playing any birds because there's some pretty good beasts, I think. And yeah, that's what we ended up doing. I will say, in terms of making this deck better, it might also help if we have, right, like a bite down here or an infectious bite, because these say target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature or planeswalker you don't control. Similarly, this one says target creature and each opponent gets a poison counter. So these cards, like Bite Down, would be nice to help us get through to planeswalkers when the opponent has blockers, as well as remove those big creatures like Shieldred without us trading creatures because it has Death Touch. We have some 5 power creatures, and this can turn into an 8 power creature, so this Bite Down could potentially do a fair amount of damage. We also have plenty of 4 power creatures here with the Bloated Contaminators and Obstinate Baloths. So Bite Down, maybe we go down to Joint Explorations for like 2 Bite Downs. That could be a potential improvement. Besides that, the land base, we're playing a bunch of duels here. You can see we have a bunch of double green here, so we can't really be running into too many blue sources, but we do want a few blue sources so that we can go ahead and actually cast Tawnos on curve and potentially use our negates or Joint Explorations. You could potentially cut down on some of these cards and just go for a little bit more green heavy and then play a fewer duels, so you don't actually have to play the Thornwood Falls. Maybe you drop the Sparse Headquarters so you don't have as many tap lands. But yeah, we're playing 2 Sparse Headquarters because they can cycle, which could help us in the late game if we top deck into them and need some actual action. And that's the deck. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, consider subscribing, leave a comment, let me know what you would have done and whatnot. Sorry today's video was a bit of a mess. The game acting out in the beginning of the video, the game acting out in the middle of the video, and then some terrible games towards the, or like a terrible game towards the end, and some rough game, or a little bit of a rough game in the beginning, I think. I mean, we still got to see Tawnos in action, which was kind of cool, but we didn't really get to see Tawnos really impacting the board in too dramatic fashion. So yeah, I don't know if Tawnos is just powerful enough to make it in standard though. Anyways, have a nice morning, evening, night, afternoon, wherever and whenever you're watching. Ciao.